Are you a successful entrepreneur or one in training? You've got the vision, but do you have the right partner to build your brand, your team, and your future online and off? At cprfirm.com, we offer expert consulting, financial guidance, and life coaching because we believe in doing life with our clients. After all, what is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Founded by Callan Cash Coleman, we help our clients not only succeed, but plan to retire rich. Your business deserves the best. Start building your legacy today at cprfirm.com.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Make sure you pick up my two books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive-Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here. We are here. Thank you for joining us 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm feeling a lot better today, ladies and gentlemen. Feeling a lot better today. Yesterday, I was running on extreme fumes. I haven't done that in a long time because normally I get myself to bed and I usually prioritize my sleep. But just that other night, I couldn't do that, for various reasons, and I didn't really sleep much that night. And so last night I said, yeah, let me go ahead and cut this stream off. I said, because, See, the thing is, what we do, some people may think, oh, it's y'all just talking in a microphone. No, it's a lot of head. It's a lot of mental you have to do with this. Sometimes you're thinking on the fly. Sometimes, certain things you want to say. And I don't script anything. Like, even though I have a teleprompter, I really don't use it because for me, at least for me, not for other people. Some people need the teleprompter and God bless them. But for me, I feel it's more authentic if it comes directly from, now I can use some like, okay, I want to cover this point, this point, this point, this point. But just for me, I don't want to write what I'm going to say because at times my mind may go somewhere else and say, something like, let me go look this up. Right. So that was that, You say you wasn't getting much sleep either. Sleep is important. And I'm trying to make sure sometimes I want to get out of this office of mine, okay, after the stream, I want to get out, go to the room, take a shower. Now, some people may say, well, that's still early. Well, I get up early too. So I just want to make sure I get my rest. And sometimes I'm chilling, talking to my wife and all of that. And so I don't get right to bed, but I remember at one point in time and that's something that I did, but should not have done. I used to live in my office. You know, that's when I used to work in petrochemical. I get off and I literally go right to my office, and I would stay in there sometimes 10 o'clock, right? And just go right to, the bed, and then get right back up and go to the petrochemical plant again. And it just, I used to do that at one point in time, and I wasn't sleeping much. And I remember when I wasn't sleeping much, how, puffy I looked in my face, and it's just a lot. A lot. I really couldn't, drop weight, and everything. And because I just wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. So your sleep is important. And you go talk to any doctor, they're going to tell you need to rest. These bodies need to rest. So make sure you get your rest, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure. Tonight we're going to talk about a few things with the migrants tonight. Very, very important subject with the migrants, because what the Democrats have done, I believe they should be investigated. All this money that's been going out to the migrants, no, it should be looked into, and things like that. So we're gonna look into that, and then there's another thing that happened out in L.A. we want to get into. My other daughter's calling me right now. I'll address her here in a minute. And then also another figure that came out about the migrants in the sanctuary cities, and why, if the mass deportation is going to happen, if they just target the sanctuary cities, that would be the majority of the issue, right? You can handle it like that. So we'll get into that tonight as well. Make sure you download the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. Once you do that, hit create account, and then you can choose monthly, quarterly, or yearly. We would love to get 10 people tonight to join, whether it's yearly, quarterly, monthly, something. It'd be great to get 10 people. Close out the year just right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead on and cue up Woody tonight, and then I'm going to go ahead on, and then after Woody, we will be right back, and we're going to get into it. So let's go.
His brain was the size of a squirrel brain. So you can just tell him anything, he gonna go for it.
Your Honor, at this time, the state's gonna ask permission to treat Mr. Copeland as a hostile witness under pursuant to 24-6-611, Your Honor.
Granted.
Thank you.
What they mean?
Don't worry about it. That's just for her to understand how she can ask the questions. You just continue to answer them truthfully.
Isn't it true that in this January 11, 2015 interview, that you told Detective Thorpe that at Club Pusha on that Monday before Donovan Thomas was killed, that Kel punched you in the back of your head?
I don't recall what I told the detective.
And isn't I'm sorry. I'll cut you off.
I don't recall what I told him specifically, however you pronounce it.
Okay. And is it also true that after Kel punched you in the back of the head, then other people came and began jumping on you as well?
Their time gonna come.
That's not the question I asked you. Is it true that you told Detective Thorpe during this January 11, 2000 interview that after Kel punched you in your head, that other individuals also began to jump on you as well?
I don't recall what I done told the police. Y'all gonna charge me for what I did? I don't did the time for the crimes y'all caught me for.
Okay. Would you mind your language while we're sitting here in court?
I'm trying to. You got me. I'm on. Y'all need to give me a break because my blood pressure is real high. I keep telling y'all, leave me alone.
Okay. And the quicker we get through this, the quicker we can leave you alone. Do you understand?
Okay, I don't recall.
Okay. Going back to January 11th, 2015.
I don't recall.
Can I finish the
They
question?
didn't listen to the question.
And they keep bringing up Thug name. So what I did was, to get him off of me, I said, Thug did this, Thug did that, Thug did, because I knew they would never, I knew he didn't do it. And in my mind, I knew that the police would never go mess with him. So it was easy for me to try to throw the blame off on him to get them off of me. And that's what I was doing from all these years. I don't remember what I done told them in the past. But my whole motive was Thug did it because I knew he didn't do it and they couldn't lock him up. And they keep talking about Thug. So guess what I'm gonna tell them? Yeah. What else you want me to tell them? Yeah, he killed this person. Yeah, he did that. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's right now. If I walk out this thing and they say, They police, if I walk out this thing and they say, they police stop me now. Hey man, give me something about the, make something up about them again.
On January 11, 2015, when you went to speak to the police.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Woody for that little short intermission. My daughter called me because right when he's doing that, and she's getting married, so she having rehearsals and all of that stuff. So she'll give me the dates, and I say, all right, yeah, send me the address so I can be there. So, gotta go to those events, right? All right. So let's go on and get started real quick. So we're gonna go on and get to our first video. This sister by the name, I think Donna Jackson, not mistaken her last name. And it was with the Center of Immigration Studies, and I was actually going through that video, but it was a clip that I wanted to take out of here, and I wanted y'all to hear, because with this situation that with the Biden-Harris administration, what they done with the illegal immigration, you're going to be seeing that way after they leave, okay? Because you understand, Biden is going over to Delaware in his nice plush area. Kamala, I don't know if she's going to go back to California and go in her nice plush area, right? They're going to be fine. They're not worried. Both of them have money. They're good. The rest of us, we're normal people. We don't have it like that. So we have to deal with all the illegal immigration that they have brought in purposely to this country. So let's check this out. I just want you to just hear this. And we'll be right back.
The fact that the majority of the illegal immigrants that you've seen in the last year are actually male, military age individuals. A lot of those individuals have been incarcerated, gang members, all of these situations. That we have a community that the Biden, I call him Lock 'em Up Joe, right? Now he didn't just take fathers out of the house, he took fathers out of the community completely. So there's already a shortage of black males in the community. Now you're putting mass amounts of black army-ready illegal immigrants in there. What do you think is going to happen? Now, perception is a powerful thing. For the first time, you have black males who historically lean left that are all of a sudden moving to the right. Why? Because economically, they're being pushed down the ladder, and these other people are coming, illegal immigrants that are being pushed forward and on a pedestal. Imagine this, and I was thinking about this. The average income, median income for African Americans, just nationwide, $35,700 a year. That's somebody that's doing well. That's the median income. That translates to about a little bit over $31,000 a month pre-tax. $3,100 a month pre-tax. If you add in the 15%, because they still have to pay tax, that's about $2,600 a month. From that, take away rent, which the average is $1,500 a month. In Chicago, $1,800 a month. If you're lucky, you can share an apartment with somebody, maybe not. So you're deducting that. Now you got to take out your transportation costs. You have to take out your food costs. Legal immigrants can come into this country. They get $2,200 a month for SSI. They get free rent. So let's add that. $2,200 average, $1,500 in free rent. They're already up to $3,700 a month. Then you add in, and if you use the Eric Adams model, they get another $1,400 in a debit card to pay for food and clothing and whatever accessories. So now you have people on this end who might have about $400 a month to spend. They're probably going to be in the hole because they got other accessories that come up. These people over here are actually living an upper middle class life. coming. Why? They're being rewarded for crossing the border illegally. And that doesn't even include the fact that they get free college. They get free health care. So the perception is actually meeting reality when you see that there are people who have been fighting for freedom. And when you hear people say racism, when you hear Black people say racism, what they're talking about is financial freedom, financial stability. I don't feel as financially stable as this person over here that's doing well, or this person over here that can afford all their bills, this person that can take care of their families. And in this sense, Black people are being pushed back, illegal immigrants are being propped up. So all of a sudden, individuals that haven't even achieved financial freedom, haven't achieved it, fighting for decades, are now looking at people who have an insurmountable amount of financial freedom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So you heard with Donna said about the amounts of money that the Democrats were giving the migrants. And understand, they're giving it to them. They didn't lobby Congress like they tell Black people, right? You know, the Boule tells us to lobby Congress. Did we create a super PAC? They tell us we all just need to go vote for everything, right? Because we don't go show up to vote and we sit it out. That's why we don't get anything. They tell us that we go talk to the Congressional Black Caucus, that we go talk to our congressperson. They tell us all kinds of things that we should go do, but the migrants didn't go create a super PAC. They just showed up. They didn't have any kind of meetings and lobbying. They just showed up. They didn't create any kind of organizations to, do this and do that. No, they just showed up. And this is a killer about that. On top of them showing up, many of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, if not all, advocate for them. They don't advocate for FBAs, but they advocate for them. So a lot of people, once again, get mad at the migrants. But in a way, can you blame them for not showing up? I mean, think about it. You come over here and you get free money, free place to stay, free cell phone. You can commit crimes. They're not going to shoot you 12 times. They're not going to beat you up. They're not going to treat you like the FBAs when they jaywalk or pulled over for speeding. No, you can do whatever you want. I mean, think about it. Why wouldn't they come? Especially this new breed of this new wave during the Biden years. Why wouldn't they come? I mean, wouldn't you show up if you can go to another country right now and they say, hey, if you come over here, I'm going to give you $3,700 a month or $2,200 a month, US dollars a month. I'm going to give you a free place to stay. I'm going to give you a cell phone. I'm going to give you money so you can have cars. I'm going to give you money for e-bikes so you can move around, so you can do all the DoorDash jobs. Because I remember I did one story, and one sister in Chicago was talking about it's hard now to get DoorDash and Uber Eats jobs because they started giving all those jobs to the migrants, and then FBAs came and go get a job like that because the migrants are doing it. Do you think they can just have a whole vehicle on their own? Where do they get money from to get a vehicle to go do DoorDash? Think about it. The Democrats and the Democrats control the sanctuary cities. You can't say it's the Republicans. It's the Democrats. The Democrats and their nonprofit organizations, their NGOs or non-government organizations, right? NGOs is a part of it too. Getting grants and all this funding to fund that. But when Black people say, okay, well, shoot, man, if you can give all this money to people that got here yesterday, surely reparations should be a conversation. And the same Democrats that have no problem opening their wallet to those people, when it comes to black people, you won't even see the wallet. When it comes to black people, the most you'll get is an apology for slavery, Gavin Newsom. That's the most you'll get from them. You won't get, oh, okay, here's some reparations. Or if they do give you back Bruce's Beach, it's not a whole lot you can do with it. And because of the tax revenue they have on it, they kind of sabotage you from even keeping Bruce's Beach. So you have to sell it back to them because you couldn't afford it on taxes because you're going to lose it on taxes. So because the way the way the system works in America about like property owners and you owning land, you really don't own land. So like if you really think about it, you really don't own your home because you can pay your house off. You can pay your land off. Let you not pay them property taxes. And the city would take that from you. Somebody else could come in and buy that tax lien. And if you don't get out of that tax lien at a certain time, that person can commandeer that property based off of a tax lien. Why are you even, this is my thing. I've always said this. Yes, America's system is one of the greatest systems. In one way it is. Traveling to other countries, you really appreciate America and how they move and how some systems work. America literally can be perfect if we get rid of certain things, right? I'd rather taxes go up and put it into daily things like a flat tax than property owners that pay off their land, pay off their house, they can still lose it behind property taxes. But the migrants don't have none of those issues or problems. They just come in, they can get a free hotel, they'll come in, they can form their gangs, commit crime, but let somebody black go in Times Square or Manhattan, let the vice law, the vice lords or the GDs or anybody else you think of, right? The gangster disciples, whatever, vice lords. I don't know why I'm thinking about them. The gangster disciples. Forgive me getting cloudy on that gang stuff because me, I don't get involved with the gang stuff. I mean, I've seen it, of course, but I just don't. The main two is the most popular, the most marketed ones, the Bloods and Crips. But let the Bloods or the Crips go in Times Square and start committing a bunch of crime. How long y'all think that's going to last? Let the Bloods or Crips start going into apartments and commandeering apartments, squatting. How long you think that's going to last if the Bloods and Crips are doing it? They would have created new laws if the Bloods and Crips was doing that. They would have created brand new laws. But the migrants come over here. They come in here forming gangs, committing crimes. And you notice there's no urgency about creating no new laws for them. Think about it. Every time in history, even if black people are fighting back on something righteous, they try to create some new law to stifle black empowerment, try to stifle black people fighting back for their rights. Because not this thing, every time we fought, it wasn't like to steal. It wasn't to do something nefarious. We was fighting for our rights, our human rights, our civil rights, our economic rights, our freedom. We were fighting for those things. These migrants that come over here, they're not fighting for nothing, and they don't want to fight for nothing. And the reason why a lot of us are cool on this illegal immigration, at least with this current group, for sure, is because they're entitled on top of all of that. They're entitled. That's why if I hear the Congressional Black Caucus talking about immigration, it literally makes me want to hurl. Because you're sitting up here, and a lot of these Congressional Black Caucus members have their districts in sanctuary cities. They see how black people in their district is suffering, and yet they don't stand up. They don't say anything. That's what I'm saying. The Congressional Black Caucus and the Black Preacher is two of the worst entities in America. I'm not saying every person in the Congressional Black Caucus is a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying every preacher in America is a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. I know some great pastors. Some I know personally. Some I know online as well. So you have some great Congress people in the Congressional Black Caucus or whatever. But the entity of it, the whole, because you got to look at things as a whole. We can't look at things as individuals. The whole of the Congressional Black Caucus don't stand for black people. The whole doesn't advocate for reparations in the form of cash payments. And unfortunately, it's a big unfortunate, we as Black America, we don't hold them accountable to do it. Because some of us have this odd attitude. Well, I don't want to really be coming down on a brother or sister like that. If that brother or sister is wrong, we aren't helping them by allowing them to do wrong. If you sit here and watch your brother or sister, your family member, doing things that can harm themselves or harm the greater community, then it becomes our problem because now you didn't say anything. And if they won't change their ways, they could be a good person, but they're not good for that position. They need to get out that position. And we need to put somebody in that's going to do the right thing in the community, for the community. We don't have time to be up here saying, oh, I'm not going to say nothing because, we attack another black person with the folk. Man, it don't matter what white people say. White people gonna say something about us if we do good. They're going to say something about us if we do bad. They're going to say something about us if we're quiet. They're going to say something about us if we loud. They're going to say something about us if we introverts. Hello to all my introverts. Shout out to y'all. They're going to say something if you're laughing. They're going to say something if we dancing. They're going to say something if we not dancing. They're going to say something if we walking, running, just standing there. They're going to say something. So with that being said, I learned a long time ago when a person don't like you, it don't matter what you do. They just don't like you. So just move on with that one. Say, okay, you don't like me? Cool. And I'm not saying every white person. I'm not saying that. If I get an email, I love your show. I'm not that way. I'm not talking about you, sir or ma'am. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the greater community. You are individual. You're the minority, okay? And if you're the minority, shout out to you, right? I know not every person in the folks community is bad. I know that. But when we talk about things, we talking about the whole. We're not talking about individuals. We have to take more personal responsibility as a community. You say, Rhonda says the Democrats mess up the blacks in Washington, D.C. Of course. Listen, the Democrats, the difference with the Democrats and Republicans is the Democrats are going to use black faces and other faces of different cultures to do the bidding of white supremacy on the left wing. Because these black people, they'll give you whatever mayor you want, city council, they'll give you all of that. But you better not do nothing for black people specifically. You better not. You better not advocate for black people. You better not. And for sure, you better not punish the folks. You better not do that. And you can keep your position. You don't have to worry about not getting indicted by the FBI. Because every time a black person is doing something for black people, I notice a pattern. These mayors, all of a sudden they get an indictment by the FBI. Oh, they did this wrong and that wrong. And every time. Because it's amazing how all these black mayors is always getting indicted. I never hear like, man, that dude was horrible. Man, he was stealing money. Man, she was stealing money. Now, of course, we laugh at Tiffany Henyard, right? But you never hear them say, oh, man, they was covering up crimes. They was doing. You never hear those things about these black mayors that be getting indicted. Keisha says the folks gonna be nosy and in our business. Yes. Listen, let me tell you something. They've been doing that. Even during the time of slavery, segregation, Jim Crow. Now they set up the Jim Crow laws, and they say, hey, you better not go over there where we at. You better not shop where we at. You better not go nowhere where we have a sign that say for us only. But you would think they would abide by that, but no. They will still go to the black areas, black neighborhoods, the black everything that black people got. They will still go over there. They want to have control. We couldn't go over there, but they never been in a position where they couldn't come where we're at. They never been in that position. And in the few times that black people say, okay, hold on, this is, you know, if you're not us, you can kind of need to stay over there. You have a black person getting on another black person for saying that. And it's not that you got a business or something, you want everybody, right? Come on. But let's say if you're having a particular meeting or whatever, and you say, hey, this only is for us. We don't want nobody here. Right? Well, I mean, they're an ally. I mean, why can't they be here? Even sometimes allies can't be in the business. For example, the United States have allies. But when the United States is discussing United States national security business, even though they have allies, do they bring the allies in the room for the allies to sit and listen to what the national security conversation need to be in the United States? Or is that a United States government conversation? Do the allies themselves invite the United States to sit down and listen to their meetings about their countries? No, because that's their national security. So we, as FBAs, need to understand national security and say, look, you're an ally, we appreciate you, but FBA's got to have this conversation over here in this closed door meeting. And some things are not for the cell phone. We have to get even certain meetings. You got to have to say, hey, look, the phones are over here. We're not recording no meetings. So think about it. When you have all these think tanks and all of that, notice you don't see no videos come out when these folks had their think tanks. You don't see a bunch of videos on TikTok. You don't see a bunch of videos on, X or wherever. YouTube. Why? Because they take them doggone phones. Because certain information should not be getting out until we're ready for it to get out. That's how these people plan, strategize, and everything. But black folk, you want to invite your allies. You want to say everything online. Everything is to be said online. Some things you have to say behind closed doors. No, you can have an ally, but understand an ally is a reciprocal relationship, right? That's what an ally really is. It's going back and forth. Now, when you circle it back to the Democrats and what they're doing, the Democrats are against us having meetings, planning things to fix our community. They are against us, as one person said in there, FUBU. They're against FUBU completely, right? They want us to always be looking to them. You have to understand in the Willie Lynch letter, that one part that says we must keep them always dependent on us. As long as you're dependent on them, you are in a weakened position. Give you an example. When you work for somebody, like especially the folks, I'm not talking about our people, but when you work for the folks, you're in a subservient position with them especially. But when you leave the folks' job and get your own business, you're in a different position. You're not dependent on them. Now you're making your own way, even though you may have customers or whatever, but you're still making your own way. You take their power away when you're not dependent on them. And that's why they always want to keep us in a subservient position. They know we are the only group in America, only FBAs is the only group in America that is a threat to their status quo. These other groups they're bringing in, they don't mind bringing other groups in by the millions because they're not going to say nothing. If the police whip them, they're not saying nothing. If they sabotage them financially, they just going to take it. If they raise their taxes on them when it's just horrible, they just going to deal with it. They're not going to say nothing because they feel like, hey, I'm happy to be here. And it's just what I got to put up with for being here. I don't have no rights. It is what it is. But when it comes to FBAs, they know we're not going to put up with that. They know we're not going to sit up there and say, this is why these immigrant groups want FBAs to say something. Because what they want to do, they want to put us in front like a shield and hide behind like this. Yeah, defend me and this and that. But they're not going to defend themselves. See, when Black Americans start saying, we're not getting in an immigration issue. We not immigrants, so it's not our issue. Y'all handle it. Y'all wrong. Man, y'all getting papered up. I'm talking about definitely the new immigrants that came in underneath Biden. Y'all getting papered up. We can't even get reparations from the same party that claim they're our friends. Where'd that come from? Right? So no, Black Americans have every single right, every single right to say no. We're not getting involved with nobody else's stuff because clearly the Democrats don't appreciate us, and that's why the Democrats lost. A lot of it was because of immigration. And on top of that, they in places like LA, they're bold with it. I remember I was just popping my mind when I did a podcast on Maxine Waters' district. In her district, there's only 775,000 FBAs. And over 4 million Hispanic community. 4 million. Now, they had a lot of FBAs in California at one point in time. What has Maxine Waters done to really fight for FBAs and keep FBAs in California? A lot of Black Americans have left, and a lot of Black Americans who are there, they say how hostile it is, how the Asians is hostile too. All the immigrants that come in there, they want to be hostile against Black Americans. But I want you to see LA real quick. I want you to watch this.
So you can see the group that is moving now through the streets. It's about 400 to 500 people, and it all started here at Placita Olvera, and they want to show that they are going to fight for immigrant rights. It's all part of the fair immigration reform movement, and they are asking President Biden and Congress to protect immigrant families. Now, we also have some video from the ground. We shot that just as the march was beginning. President Biden will be president for another month, and they want him to stop any funding to immigration enforcement and detention, and they also want him to extend protections such as DACA. They know that come January 20th, things are going to change, and they want people here to know what they can do.
Know your constitutional rights, to understand your civil rights, but also to understand all the protections that exist in California. Over 2 decades, we have made sure that in California we were a progressive pro-immigrant state. And what does that mean? It means that the police cannot collaborate with immigration authorities for purposes of deportation. It means that institutions that like your schools and your clinics and your hospitals should not be asking for your immigration status.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So they did a whole march, ladies and gentlemen, a march. You never see them coming out marching for anything, but they're marching to stay in this country. They're marching because they feel that there's a big fear of Donald Trump coming in with mass deportations, and he has the backing of a lot of American people. See, that's what makes it different versus the first time when Trump was in office. Trump didn't really have the backing of the country. He had the backing of his base, but he really didn't have the backing of a lot of people that was on the Democrat side or independents. You have a lot of people now, they say, hey, Trump, go ahead on. Well, that just really makes him emboldened to do it because now he has support from the American people to do it. And this is why these people are getting nervous every day that pass by. They're looking at that clock. They say they're looking at the date, and they said, man, they're begging Biden right now to do things to codify that Trump can't deport them. That's what they want right now. But this is a question I have for some of them who's out there marching. You had a president who was pro-you and not pro-America. And in that whole 4 years he was in office, you didn't take care of your paperwork so you could stay? and you want to march in the street, why you didn't go march your behind to the immigration office and get your green card and other things that you need to do to stay? That's a question I have. Why would I sit in the country 10, 20 years and not take care of my paperwork? Could y'all help me understand that? How am I going to go to another country and not go ahead and just take care of my paperwork so I can stay? If I want to stay, then clearly a day was going to come where they're going to come see you or get you. I mean, a day was going to come. So how you didn't really figure out that day wasn't going to come where they was going to get at you about your status? Then it's going to be, I already know, I already see it in my head. The CNN, MSNBC, and all of them is going to be showing them crying and all of that, trying to make, oh, look how horrible Trump is. What are you crying for? You had a good 4 years with a pro-immigration president, and you didn't get yourself together? Now you want to get worried because Trump coming in? See, they thought they was going to get it 8 years. And that didn't happen. Because some of them was set up, they were parlaying, and they said, man, we're having a great time with Biden, and hey, Kamala's going to be elected. So it's going to be even better when she get in, right? She wants to give $25,000 to us so we can get a house. So it's going to be even better when she get in. And then she didn't win. And I know a lot of them was like, oh, no. Forget the Shields that was mad. We talking about the people that's out there marching that street. You know they were mad. They were like, oh, my God, what? He's coming back in? You can imagine some of the conversations in their household? What are we going to do? He said he wants mass deportations. And I just thought he wouldn't be elected. I mean, look all what happened. And he had court cases, and they tried to literally take his life, and he won. You know, think about the conversation they had over there in their households. So I don't feel bad because one, a lot of you came in here not the right way. Two, you had 4 years to take care of your paperwork. They've had plenty of people that didn't come in here the right way, and they figured out a way with the immigration attorneys to do their paperwork so they can get their green card and social security number where they're paying their taxes, and they work their way up to hopefully some residency, and then eventually maybe they can become naturalized. A lot of people do it. A lot have done it. They came over even illegally. So even for the sake of those who came over illegally and they took care of their paperwork, they figured it out. I don't really feel sympathy for you. You've been sitting here 10, 20 years and you haven't done your paperwork. Sorry. Yeah. They demanding. Now, they could demand the Democrat Party do something, but let us demand. You got Clyburn coming out here talking about what they not going to do. You understand? You got people like Boulay Martin telling you what we can't get. The only so-called black person getting something is Al Sharpton and Boulay Martin. They getting theirs. Democrats, if you'd have cut us a check like you cut for Boulay Martin to the FBAs, we wouldn't be. You'd probably be in office. Well, no, you would be in office if you sit up there and say we're gonna give y'all $350,000 for reparations, cash payments, and that's it. We done with it. I'm like, hey, well, shoot, give me my $350. I'll vote for you. I can use that. $350, yeah. Oh, you better believe at minimum that can buy FBAs a house. We don't have to worry about a place to stay. Man, you have to, of course, depends on where you live in. But if you live in an area where the homes are just not astronomical and you bought a home, that alone would help out FBAs. All these billions they're wasting on the migrants, and they're still asking, they're still demanding, or whatever. It never ends. Now, I want you to look at this figure real quick before we wrap up. I'm going to put this up on the screen here. And this is why Tom Homan needs to start in the sanctuary cities. All right. So nearly 8 million living illegally in the sanctuary cities across the U.S. So nearly 8 million people are illegally living in sanctuary cities across the U.S. Say the Center for Immigration Studies reported on the number of those living illegally and residing in these cities. So the study found 7.9 million people living illegally in these areas. That equals more than half of those who are estimated to be living in the country, illegally in the country. Many residents of sanctuary cities believe that these policies attract illegal immigration. Say concerns have been raised about the impact of illegal immigration on local resources and services. Hello, Brandon Johnson in Chicago. Mayor Adams is turned around, but, he still did his thing. Some damage was being done. But I want you to see. So if Tom Homan and ICE just go to the sanctuary cities and go just rounding up people in the sanctuary city, then you could make a major dent in the problem. You can make a major dent. So, and those policies do attract people. Why wouldn't it? You telling them the police not going to cooperate with ICE? Places like New York was saying that ICE didn't have New York City when de Blasio was in there. They didn't want them to have access to Rikers Island. Now these are criminals, right? Criminal migrants, but yet you don't want ICE in there, bruh. Like, why can't they be there? And do you know some of them that's being caught? That's criminals. They have done heinous crimes in other countries. Heinous crimes. So I think that Tom Homan needs to come to all the sanctuary cities. I'm going to say all the major cities and just start there. You'll put a big dent in it. You say Clyburn. Clyburn. Oh, God. Clyburn. Clyburn need to move to the side. Can y'all at least bring in some younger Democrats? I know good and well you got some young Democrats in. If you're going to be a Democrat, fine. Can we get some young Democrats, a young brother, a young sister? And when I say young, I'm not talking about 22, 21. But at this stage in the game, somebody in their 30s, somebody in their 40s. In politics, that's still considered young, right? Maybe somebody in their 50s, whatever. Hell, somebody even 60 years old right now would be younger than Clyburn. Why don't these people retire, man? Dog, I would not want to be worrying about. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm working on a 10, maybe 12-year plan. I don't want to have to be working so hard in the next 12 years. Lord bless. I want to be able to build this thing up where I can be like your boy Jeff Bezos. He does his work, but he's not having his hand in everything. He with his lady doing what they do, right? That's my vision. I want to be with my wife. I want to be doing what I do. We traveling, vacation, going to galas, going to go and have fun, go and do this. We'll do our work. Don't get me wrong. We got our work to do. But I don't want to have to be in the day-to-day operations. I want to get it to the point where I'm not involved with the day-to-day operations like that. But I'm still going to have my finger in it, but it won't be every day, something. Right? That's why I'm all about trying to build this thing up and get the greatest talent to try to come in here. Because, first of all, there's other voices. 2, you can't grow by yourself. You just can't. You're limited. 3, I want to enjoy my life too. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm saying that because even when I spoke at the gala, at the Black Book Houston Gala, I told all those business owners we need to bring in the younger people. If you're Gen X like me, bring in the millennials and Gen Zs in. Teach those young brothers and sisters. Pass on that knowledge and bring them into your companies, so we can bring this thing on to the next generation. We don't want to be like these baby boomers holding on to everything and let everybody ride on the vine and they hold on to everything and they dying in positions. They die in it. They die in these positions. Don't pass no knowledge. Don't pass nothing. And then leave the younger generations not knowing nothing Nothing at all. No. I purposely said, no, I got to bring in millennials and Gen Z into what I'm doing. Purposely said that. Because if you can't teach nobody or impart to anything to nobody, then what is your actual legacy if you can't impart nothing to nobody else? And it comes a time that you need to slide to the side, bruh or ma'am, and let these people that you've mentored and helped raise up slide in positions, and then you could just be in a position of wisdom at that point. And they'll call you up and say, hey, you know what you think about this? And I got this question. They'll definitely call you up. But you should be chilling, bro, traveling, having a good time. Shoot. I saw that Chris Brown, you know, some of the footage from the Chris Brown concert in South Africa, the FNB Stadium. Shoot. I would rather go to the Chris Brown concert in South Africa. I probably would have had a great time. You know what I'm saying? That's that kind of stuff I want to go do. Be sitting up here working all the time. I know Renelle Way said that she went to the Chris Brown concert. She didn't have a voice. I was laughing about that. But say, I'm glad Chris went. Chris put on a good show. But you know, like I said, don't be, you know, that's my issue with these black politicians. They don't want to pass the torch. They want to hold it to the torch burnout. Literally. Die in them positions. They literally die. They get diagnosed with certain things. And not to say if you diagnose, you know, with any kind of disease, no matter what it is, that it's going to be fatal. Sometimes it's not. But sometimes maybe you're just doing too much. Back off, tend to your health, tend to your family. You know what I'm saying? If it is going to be fatal, or you want to spend all the time you can with your family, not sitting up here trying to man the government. The government don't care about you. They don't. The government will replace you tomorrow and won't think twice about you. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. It's free. It's free. It doesn't cost you to do that, right? Very, very easy to do. I appreciate everybody has came through tonight, and make sure to be here tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the stream. Sister Vicky will be up tomorrow as well. We're talking about live streaming at least. She'll be up tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, then me at 7 p.m. Of course, we have, you know, definitely Sister Demetra and Juan Gale. I think, yeah, Demetra is like 11 something, 12, and then, you know, you have Naledi coming up, and Renelle Way. Everybody's coming on through, right? Emma is coming on through. So, yeah, make sure to watch everything that we have. Support everybody because they're bringing some great news. Some of the stuff they be reporting on, y'all, I don't know what they be reporting. Sometimes I have to watch the video and say, wow, I didn't know that happened, because over here, and I want to let y'all know that, I don't tell them what to report. I don't. You know, some newsrooms, they say, okay, report this story, report this story. They give you a list of stuff to report. When somebody come here, I'm going to tell you, no, you find the story. You tell me what stories is good or bad, or you just show me and let me see what you do. I kind of had that strategy of just throwing you in the water and letting you swim, but that's been the best strategy, because when I'm on vacation or doing other things, they don't have to call me every 5 minutes to ask should they report on. So all the people you see here, they all using their minds, and that's better for y'all. That's better for y'all, because if I got to hold your hand, then you don't need to be here. All right, we'll see y'all next time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow.